Today we'll be discussing the essential steps leaders can take to create a culture of innovation and growth within their organizations. Innovation and growth are critical for any organization's long-term success, and as a leader, it's your responsibility to foster an environment that encourages both. In this episode today, we'll explore the 5 steps in more detail and provide practical advice on how you can create a culture of innovation and growth within your own organization. Let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas.
Welcome to the Ask Denis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners, or I share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Hey listeners, I want to check in with you just to see how you got on with the action items from last week's episode. That's right, episode 445, the importance of language in leadership communication. And the call to action for that week, I actually got you to buy a notebook or get a notebook and take notes, but at the back pages of the actual notebook. And I wanted you to do 3 things. Observe what language leaders are using, and those are leaders that are around in your organization. Take notes from them and learn from them, in particular, those things that they are doing well. Number 2 was to observe yourself. What language are you using? And take notes and just observe that. And the third thing was to ask yourself this question, which was, are you using the if words rather than the when words? So I wonder how you got on with that action items, or those groups of actions. Now, if you haven't done that, or you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to encourage you to go back to episode 445 and check out the episode, but also those call to actions. Okay, let's get into today's topic of how can leaders create a culture of innovation and growth within their organization. Innovation and growth are vital for the long-term success of any organization. As a leader, it's your responsibility to create a culture that fosters innovation and growth. Now, this requires creating an environment that encourages risk-taking, fosters collaboration, sets ambitious goals, empowers team members, and embraces diversity. So what we're going to be doing going forward is we're going to dive a little bit deeper into those 5 essential steps and explore them more in detail and provide some practical advice on how leaders can create that culture of innovation and growth within their organizations. Okay, here we go. Step 1, encourage risk-taking. If you can encourage risk-taking, that's the first step in creating that culture of innovation and growth. As a leader, it's really essential to create a safe environment where team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas without feeling the fear of failure or retribution. Now, this requires actually creating a culture where taking risks and trying new things is encouraged, but also, and here it comes, celebrated. Now, encourage experimentation and recognizing and rewarding team members who take risks and try new things. Well, that's going to create an environment where team members are willing to take risks, explore new ideas, and innovate. Leaders, here's a little bit of a clue for you, or maybe a little bit of some advice. Just imagine what they might come up with, because they may come up with the next world-changing idea. And you don't want to hold that back. You want to give them the environment for them to explore and give it a go. Step 2 is if we can foster collaboration. Now, collaboration is essential once again for innovation. Encouraging cross-functional teams to work together on projects and creating opportunities for team members to share their ideas and expertise is critical. You can encourage them, those team members, to provide feedback and critique each other's ideas in a constructive way. This will help them to create an environment of trust and openness that fosters innovation. You see, by fostering collaboration, you can tap into the diverse skills or the knowledge and expertise of your team members and others to help create an innovative solutions to some complex problems. Once again, you give them the opportunity for this to happen. Allow them to collaborate. Go across those, where the silos are and things like that. Just imagine what they might be able to achieve. Step 3 is set ambitious goals. And the ability to set ambitious goals can actually inspire, can actually motivate team members to innovate and grow. And as a leader, if we can set those challenging, but achievable goals, I'm not talking about goals that are real easy to get. I'm not talking about that at all. But ones that are challenging and achievable by hard work and so forth. If those goals can actually align with the organization's vision and mission, wow, that'd be pretty cool. We can break these goals down into smaller, achievable milestones, and then once again, celebrate the team's progress along the way. Wow, I wonder what they can achieve. You see, this is going to help, once again, a culture of continuous improvement and growth. Ambitious goals help to drive innovation, inspire creativity, and foster a culture of excellence. Step 4 is around empower team members. Empowering team members can help to foster innovation and growth. If you can give team members the autonomy, the resources that they need to take ownership of their own work and make decisions. Encourage the team members to develop their own skills and also their own expertise. But if you can provide the opportunities for them to take on the new challenges and responsibilities, that is powerful. You see, by empowering team members, you create that culture of ownership, accountability, creativity that fosters innovation and growth. Just imagine or think back to when you were growing as a leader. Were you given opportunities? Were you given those projects, those initiatives to work on? Were you given the opportunity to grow, learn from them? Well, it's your turn now to do that with your team as well. Step 5 is to embrace diversity. And by embracing diversity, once again, that is critical for creating a culture of innovation and growth. You see, if you can encourage diversity in your team, now this is including diversity in experiences, backgrounds, perspectives. I even talk about war stories. If you can embrace the different ways of thinking and encouraging the team members to challenge assumptions and look at problems from new angles, wow, that's where they can actually flourish. That's when they can use innovation, and then that's where they can actually thrive. You see, by embracing diversity, you can tap into the unique skills, the knowledge, the perspectives of your team members to create innovative solutions that are going to be towards complex problems they might be working on. Critical thinking is another big thing too. If you allow people to do that, just imagine what they can come up with. Creating a culture of innovation and growth within an organization is essential for success. Encouraging that risk-taking, fostering collaboration, setting ambitious goals, empowering team members, and embracing diversity are all key steps that leaders can take to create such a culture. By following these steps, leaders can inspire their teams to innovate, grow, and succeed. Remember, innovation and growth are not one-time events, but it's an ongoing process or processes that require continuous effort and commitment. By fostering a culture of innovation and growth, you can create a sustainable competitive advantage and position your organization for long-term success. Well, listeners, I always give you a call to action as the end of these Ask Denis episodes, and this call to action this week is really for you to step back and review the 5 steps on how can leaders create a culture of innovation and growth within their organization. So step back, review those 5 steps, but then I would like you to think about your organization, you and your team, and what are you needing to do? Is there one or several of those 5 steps that you need to work on? What do you need to do to tweak it? What do you need to do to strengthen it, make it stronger, to help the innovation and growth happen within your organization? Hey, listeners, well, that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.